All right, welcome to your first session of Thriving Coach Intensive. I am your coach, business strategist, and action instigator, Jennifer Covington, but you can think of me as your business BFF because I'm really here to walk shoulder to shoulder with you and guide you through this process of either jumpstarting your dream business or just really getting your existing business revved up and really streamlined so that you can be very successful and make a big positive impact on the world. I'm really excited to have you here. I'm really so happy that you said yes to your success. So I am definitely here at your disposal for the next 8 weeks. And let's dig right in. All right. So this is session 1, part 1, your vision. So what you're going to learn in this session, you're going to learn what it is you really want, plus how to get it. You're going to learn how to identify what has stopped you in the past from having what you want, plus what you can do about that. You're going to learn how magic beans are going to be your secret weapon for getting through the next 8 weeks and beyond. You're also going to learn the importance of your personal purpose plus your world-changing why, and how those two are distinctly different. You're going to learn the tools that you can use to ensure your success as you go through this program, as you build your business, and as you set out to change the world. So first, let's talk definitions. You all should have done your pre-work by now, and we talked about purpose and values, right? But purpose tends to be a loaded word, and people use purpose a lot of times with passion interchangeably. So I just wanted to go over some definitions first so that we're all on the same page and saying the same thing. And it's just a real good educational moment to have. So first, let's talk about purpose. It's always such a loaded word, but really purpose, the definition, you can look it up right now on your computer, is the definition is the reason why something is made or exists. And that's actually really all purpose is. Why do we even want to overcomplicate things? I know we want to make it something deeper, but that's really what it is. And you saw in the worksheet, I define it for you there too. But I do take the time to walk you through an exercise because as humans, we kind of want to have a definition. We want some words. We want something that we can wrap our minds around. So that worksheet was designed to help you to put words to your purpose so that can help guide you. But the truth is, that the evidence that you were created, the fact that you're just here, the fact that you exist means that you have a purpose, and therefore you existing is an example of you walking in your purpose if we really wanted to be technical about it. So that's really, really your purpose. But again, you came up with some words that helped you define what that is, what you existing even looks or feels like, and what's important to you. But let's move on and define some of the other things. So then there's passion, which sometimes gets interchanged with purpose. And these are the things that make you come alive and what you would feel like being on purpose. So things like dancing or, volunteering, things like that light you up and that you really love to do, an activity a lot of times, that is your passion. And your passion isn't always the thing that you make a profit out of. Sometimes it's a thing that refuels your batteries so that you can get on to what you were doing to make a profit or make a difference in the world. Now, your mission is actually something I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but mission is really what people are talking about when they're talking about walking in their purpose and doing their purpose or, what they were put on this earth to do. A lot of times they're describing their mission. And your mission is actually something you choose to do to express your purpose and your passions, right? So if you decide to build schools in Africa, it's probably because that's an example of a mission, and it's probably because your purpose, for example, may be to empower individuals to realize their full human potential, because your purpose is going to be something that's very universal. So if we took the purpose, empower individuals to realize their human potential, you may choose the mission to build schools in Africa, while somebody else may choose the mission to work at a senior citizen home, while somebody else chooses to be an athletic trainer. So your mission does and will change, but that's the more tangible activity and action that people are really talking about, usually when they're talking about purpose or passion. So, I've chosen my mission for this chapter of my life is to really be speaking to coaches and training them in how to build a business online so that they can reach more people, because my purpose is something to the tune of definitely helping individuals tap into and realize their gifts and to use those gifts and their superpowers for good to better the planet. That's my overarching purpose in general. But again, I could do that at the Humane Society. I could do that at the local soup kitchen, or I could do it online helping, entrepreneurs with marketing and business. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that clears it up a little bit. And, throughout this presentation, if any questions come up for you, you can always email me. You can put them in the Facebook group, and then also we will be having a Q&A that you can find out the times of that on your schedule that has been sent out, or that you can find in the hub. Okay, so I keep referring to pre-work, so let's talk about your pre-work. So first, your purpose. I would love to know, so take out your worksheet or whatever, and reflect and look at, what did you discover about your purpose? Did you come up with something pretty universal? Did you resonate with what came up for you? Were you able to see general themes emerge through your life history? Again, if you have questions on that, definitely let me know. But hopefully you were able to see what themes did emerge and what your purpose is, what you're always going after in your life. Also, look at your values worksheet. What did you discover about your true values in life? The reason why discovering your values is so important, because say you and I both say, one of the things we really want to do with our lives is travel the world. But maybe your value is to do things very, minimally. You have an environmental, eye towards things. And so if you can't do it environmentally safe, you don't even want to do it. While say me, I just want to be lavish and luxury, and I just want to always have it to be so frou-frou and fabulous, right? So we both could achieve the goal of traveling the world, but if the experience is super minimum and, basic, and I love luxury, then I would have created that dream, but it wouldn't be in line with my values. Versus if you had all the bells and whistles and 5-star, and it was a lot of waste and a lot of, surplus, that would actually make you miserable, because even though you're traveling around, your core value is to be minimalist and, to save, to be green, whatever. So that's just an example. I prefer more minimal anyway, but just the example. And this is how you avoid creating, a job for yourself, how you avoid creating just another miserable situation with a different name, is first getting in line with your values. So whatever you create, and this is the beginning, of setting your own rules, making your own rules. It doesn't matter what anyone else says is important. It's what you say is important for you. So write down at least 3 or 5 values that you came up with that must be present in your life, and keep them somewhere where you can see them. Write them down. Again, you can share these in the Facebook group. So share with your community values that are true for you, or maybe you don't want to be very public about them. Either way, just be sure that you keep those close to you so that you're always walking in line with what you value most. Super important. And just keep this in mind. We talk about your purpose and value. Again, I gave you ways to put words to your purpose, but again, it's really just why you exist, right? And even your values, those can shift and change. So instead of using these as written in stone ways you have to be for the rest of your life, instead use it as a guide, right? So like I said, you could be fulfilling your purpose in a myriad of ways, so let that be. Your values can change at any time, so allow that to happen. But when you need to course correct, they're there to serve as your beacon as to what direction to journey in. So again, this is the beginning of you making your own rules to live by. So you're not looking left or right, or looking at the TV or the magazine to tell you how you should feel, how you should look, how you should live your life. You have already encoded in you a way that would make you optimally happy. And so that's what we're getting after with these exercises. So now that you have gotten clear on what your, encoding is on the inside and what you really do want, I want to explore just for a little bit what has challenged you in the past. There are things that have stopped you from having and doing and being what you want. And sometimes it is the TV and the magazines and, society at large that get you off track. But there's also internal things like analysis paralysis and procrastination, self doubt, a lot of criticism. And this isn't a time to get down on yourself, or it's not time to record this and judge it. It's just a way, just like, excuse me, it's just a way, like this little warning sign, just to know when that comes up for you, to say, okay, one of my challenges is coming up. And what we're going to talk about really throughout the program is what to do to overcome those challenges. But how much more useful is it to have it by name, know what your challenges are and what your challenges have been in the past versus not knowing. So that's why we're shining a light on it now. So go ahead and just jot down some things that have been challenging you in the past, that could even be coming up for you while you listen to this. So I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, hopefully you got your challenges. And now we're going to talk about motivation, right? What has served as motivation in the past? If you're here, I usually in my marketing speak to people who are world changers, who want to get after it, who want to make a difference, and that is not the majority of people. Some people are so satisfied with the status quo and don't want to do anything bigger or better. So something is motivating you, or something has motivated you in the past. So what is that? Write those things down too, because instead of taking it for granted, like, oh, I might get inspiration somewhere, there are things that fuel you. And I call those your magic beans, right? Because you can have them in your pocket. And when it seems like the winds are blowing, storms are brewing, and you're not feeling it, you can reach in your pocket, grab those magic beans, and say, okay, that's right. That's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it because it's easy. I'm not doing it because it's just what everyone else is doing it. I'm doing it because I have this motivation. So take a moment and write down what your motivations are. Things in the past that have kept you motivated, things that have kept you pushing through and persevering even when it wasn't easy. And we're going to talk a little more about that, something that's in line with that. But go ahead and write down your motivations. And think of them as your magic beans. Okay, so now we're going to talk about your personal purpose, which is in line with your motivators. This is your personal why. And when I say your why, some of you may be familiar with this concept, but others of you may not. So I'll just explain that the idea of your why is, the reason you're doing something. So Simon Sinek has a super famous TED Talk where he's talking about, it's not about what you do, it's why you do it. And the universal example is Tom's shoes, how Tom's gives, donates, I think it is a pair of shoes every time you purchase a pair of shoes. They donate a pair of shoes to someone in need. So people connect with their why. People connect with why they're doing it versus what it is. It's a shoe. It's not a new shoe. Shoes have been around, espadrilles have been around forever, but they connect first with their why versus their what. And that's what made them popular. And as a heart-centered entrepreneur and a world changer, this works for you. However, when we talk about a why, usually people are talking about the big why for the world. Like my big why for the world is world peace, actually, but that is huge, right? So in this section, I want you to be working on your personal why, or I'm calling it like your personal purpose. And this is your ideal, but for you, right? For your everyday drive, what makes you jump out of bed, world peace is kind of big. But what is driving you every day on a smaller scale? So examples from my past clients have been they're striving for location independence, or financial freedom, or time freedom, right? Having more time with their children, or just want the feeling of operating out of their zone of genius. that is very personal, but that is the reason why they want to do what they do. So take a moment now to connect with what your personal purpose is. And I'm using purpose different than, why something exists, but your personal why, right? And it's going to sound, it might be very much in line with those magic bean motivators that we were just talking about. And then your world changing why. And this is probably the one you're more familiar with if you've done anything that incorporates this exercise. And this is your wish for the world. This is your big universal why. And it's bigger than your personal purpose, right? So a lot of times they're connected, but they don't necessarily have to be. World peace doesn't necessarily at first glance connect with wanting to spend more time with your kids, but you probably want to spend more time with your kids, not only just because you love them, but because you want them to grow up to be the best human beings ever so that they can be contributing to the world in a wonderful way. So a lot of times that happens. I know I have some health coaches in here. So again, your personal mission may be that you just wanted to live healthy and have the most optimal energy. And your big why is, creating a world of people that are thriving that way too, because then the world's a better, healthier, more sustainable place to live. So again, your world-changing why probably hinges a lot on that personal purpose statement, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So think of your world-changing why. What is that for you? All right. Excellent. So now here's a way to take it to the next level and really cement it into your being. These are going to be your inspired action steps for part 1. So I'm just going to go over those now. And this you want to do within this week, by Friday or definitely by Monday before the next session, just so that you have this in place, because this program is definitely built sequentially. So one thing, the one lesson hinges on the next. So try to get these done as quickly as you can, get them in place. It's designed for you to have a week to really get it complete, unless I specify otherwise. So it is an intensive. So that's why it's to get, take massive action to get massive results. So ways you can take it to the next level is to write out a permission slip or statement, create a vision board or vision journal, and create a mantra for playing by your own rules. So your permission slip. I don't know if you remember in grade school, this is how it was for me, that if we went on a field trip or really did anything at school that was other than going to class, we needed a permission slip from our parents. And I know now as adults, sometimes we still wait for permission to do something, right? It's not someone signing off or anything, but sometimes you need to see someone else do it before you give yourself permission to do it. Or if someone tells you, yeah, sure, you can go for it, then you go for it versus just doing it yourself. And this course is all about action. So I need you to give yourself permission to overcome those challenges that we identified earlier, and go for it, basically. So whatever's tripping you up, I know for me, my challenges are always to be seen, to let my light shine, that whole kind of thing. So I have to give myself permission all the time. And I just want to say the next couple of tools I go over that's just what they are. They're tools for you. This isn't me trying to fix you because something's broken. It's to identify what your default settings are, and then to empower yourself with the tools that it takes to remedy those when they come up. So for me, one of my default settings is, don't be seen, don't let your light shine, for example. But instead of thinking, oh, I need to wait until that's fixed, I just have tools in place like affirmations, permission slips, those kinds of things. So when it creeps up, I can crush it within 5 minutes because I already know that's what's up for me. So permission slip, giving you permission to just go for it. Examples of what you can write on your permission slip, and you can type this up, you can write it in your journal, whatever you want. Examples are, I give you permission to shine your light. Or, I give myself permission to release the fear that's been holding me back. Now, I use those two in two different ways. So you want to say you, I give you permission to shine your light, for example, if you're doing mirror work. So if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, which is so necessary sometimes, mirror work is a powerful thing that you can do every morning or every week, or just when it creeps up, you can say, look yourself in the eye in the mirror and say, I give you permission to shine your light. I give you permission to play full out. I give you full permission to live life to the fullest. Okay. I give you full permission to make a mistake today. You can give yourself permission for whatever you are, being plagued with. You want to use myself when you're kind of more so doing an affirmation. So let's say you're driving. I give myself permission to release the fear. I give myself permission to, write the blog post. I give myself permission to write a crappy first draft. So that's how you will use that. And it doesn't seem like much, but you're actually reprogramming your brain, and you're putting a stop to the negative thoughts. So it's working twofold, and it's a really powerful exercise. And bonus points to you if you hang your permission slip somewhere where you can see it daily, because it'll even be affecting you positively on a subconscious level. So that's the permission slip. Then there's your vision board or vision journal. This was like the beginning of a vision board I did just at a vision board party. And I love always having a vision board around. This one seemed to come to manifest more as a happy feelings board versus like a manifestation board. But either way, I love a vision board, especially since you identified, your values, your purpose, you're getting in tune with your mission. This is what you want, a visual representation of that. And if you don't want to hang up a big poster board, so a vision board, for those who don't know, it's like basically a huge poster board. You can also, there's programs online where you can create vision boards, but it's just the feelings and the ideas and the visuals of the things that you want in your life, that you want to manifest. So like I always have a person with balloons, for example, because that feels like freedom to me. That's one of my things. Dreams and joy, flowers, that evokes an emotion of freedom, of the joy of life, the fullness of life, right? So some people do things that are very literal. Some people do things that are very abstract. It's really up to you. And if you don't want to do the poster board thing, other people really like to do a vision journal, which is a way that you can kind of make your vision board portable. And it's just a way to take daily journaling to a more artistic, expressive way where you draw pictures, you can paint, you can, put magazine clippings or pictures in your journal, but it's a book that is the same idea, but you just might prefer that more. But a vision board or journal, I would really love if you were able to do that in the next week, because it really cements, since you just did the work of kind of creating your vision and what you want. It's so easy to lose sight of that, especially since, again, you may not be going, you're probably not doing what the status quo would have you to do. So this is a way to keep your vision in front of you at all times. Any time in my life that I have had a vision board, and even no matter what audacious goal I put in front of me, it always comes into fruition. And I would even say, I guess within 2 years, I think within 1 year, 9 months to 12 months, it comes into fruition. So, and that's if I put something literal. This board, for example, is just kind of good feelings, indulge, bright ideas, fuel the joy, do whatever you want, right? But this is a great thing to do. And if you do it in the next week, it'll really cement the work that you've already done. Also, coming up with a mantra. So this mantra, more than it's an affirmation, but a mantra for again, when doubt creeps up, because again, you're paving your own way now. So coming up with a mantra that when you catch those negative thoughts happening, you can immediately erase it and override it with one of these mantras. So what it is a quick statement that you can say that will get you back on track. Like, oh, that's right. So examples of mantras are, everything is working out for my good. I am an infinite being with unlimited potential. So again, if you're like, oh, no one likes me, or, oh, my ideas are silly. Actually, I'm an infinite being with unlimited potential. So how could that be true? right? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, or through Source who strengthens me. And that's a scripture from the Bible. And, you know, whatever your denomination is, or if you believe in God, or if you call it Source, or, you know, if you pray to the tree gods, whatever works for you, these are just examples. And I am already a success. So that's a great one, you know, when you're doubting or you're feeling like, if I do this action and it doesn't work, I'm screwed. Instead, I'm already a success. So these are just quick lines, again, that you can say yourself that are rooted in universal truth, that will bring you into the awareness. It taps into your higher self of saying like, oh, it's not little ego me. There's something bigger. I'm an infinite being. Oh, there's a source that's strengthening me. Now it's not just little me. So these mantras are really great. You can, I mean, the minute this video is over, you can just scribble down a mantra, put it somewhere, and practice it so that when you have those thoughts come up, you can negate it and put in this new positive, real truth. So those are your homework assignments. So to review, we went over purpose and values, and I hope you now have a very good working understanding of those and the value that they serve. We talked about your challenge and motivations, i.e. your magic beans. We also went over your personal purpose and world-changing why. And I gave you the tools on how to really cement this teaching into your being, because that's how you show up. It has a lot to do with how you feel on the inside about what is true for you. So that permission slip, get it done within the week. Your vision board or journal, that could be maybe a work in progress, but really start getting some visualizations and visual cues for you to keep that vision that you want for yourself in front of you. And then definitely come up with a mantra ASAP. So when doubt arises, you have something to immediately get rid of it with a more universal truth for yourself. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. There is part 2 that's coming up right after this. And I'll see you on the next class. Next up, session 1, part 2, your vision. Bye for now.